This is a reference guide for the HF coils and battery on how to fit them both. It's slightly different from the standard stem arrangement on the black coils. So here we have HF coil, which consists of a lower stem and a battery. The battery is already up the stem. We're going to take that out, we're going to use that later. And just to compare against the standard stem, you can see the difference in the ends. This being a standard, this being the HF stem. Again, we're going to put that aside for later. We have here the coil and the cable for the battery and the fixing kit. We've now removed the nut bolt washers from the packet. This is slightly different from the standard stem. We still have 2 washers, 2 bolts, 2 collets, or sometimes referred to as top hats because of their shape, and 2 wing nuts for tightening up. But the most crucial item is this little fella. If you remember, we showed you that the stems were different. There's actually a hole down the end of this stem, and this is a spacer. This spacer slides down there and is there to prevent you from pulling the ends in and breaking off the end of your stem. Very crucial that that goes in first before you do anything. The rest of it is the same as the black stem, basically holding the stem as if it was into your metal detector and down onto your coil. The washer goes in from the left hand side, like so, and then we slot between the 2 lugs on the coil, making sure that they line up so that we can then slide the bolt all the way through. Bolts held captive by the 2 grooves on either side. We turn over and we get the collet. The collet is going to go in the small end first, like so. We then rotate it until it lines up, and we can now just push that in. We grab the wing nut and we tighten up. Quite a few turns on this. And we tighten until we get some form of resistance just there. The coil will still flex, but what we do, we give it a 180-degree turn, and occasionally we might need to give it another quarter turn, and that will be all you'll need to stop your coil from flopping around. What we'll do, we will now put that down and we'll move on to the next bit. We now move on to fitting the battery to the HF coils. We have the red puller lead that we had from earlier that we put to one side, and the battery, and we're going to thread the battery lead up through the stem. So the puller, we just hook over the end like so, and we start to thread up the stem. I've pulled this back a little bit because it's easier just to get that through. Then I slide that back up and I just push it gently up the stem, and the puller lead should be sticking out of the end like so. We bend the stem vertical and we pull the lead through. We've now got the battery lead, but this bit that we hooked around the end is actually perfect for hooking like so. So my hands are now free to grab the battery. The battery has 2 little terminals which are off center, as they are on the connector as well. So line that up so it doesn't fall. My hands are now free. I can just line this up so the battery terminals are lining up like so, and I don't turn the battery. The only thing I turn is the locking collar. Locking collar is now on, and we can now check that the battery is connected. We'll find that the light is flashing every few seconds. There we go. And we can come back up and you'll see the battery is just standing there. Now, a lot of people take this lead off and put it away or throw it away. Don't. You may need it at a later date. A good tip is just to feed it down into the stem, and that is your battery fitted on an HF coil.